ticks and tick bites. Typically, this is an emergency that you can take care of at home. We typically don't need to see these. The diseases that ticks transmit, Lyme's disease, Ehrlichia, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, those types of things are chronic types of diseases. They don't happen right away. So within 24 hours, you're not going to see signs of illness like the flu, etc. But the ticks, if you haven't seen them, they look like very small. They can either be brown or tan in color. The engorged ticks look like large gray raisins or grapes or whatever. My sister won't eat raisins to this day because they look like ticks, is what she says. But so they look, here another food analogy, they look like gray peas, but those are what ticks are, and it's important to get ticks off as soon as possible. If they bite in, they don't necessarily transmit any infection immediately. Typically they take about 24 hours before they are able to transmit the infection. So if you're out playing with the dogs, etc., you come back home, you're looking at them and you find a tick, take it off. That doesn't mean that they're going to get sick right away, but you want to remove that tick. Typically the easiest way to do that is a pair of tweezers, which is nice to have in your first aid kit. Go down at the base of the tick where the head enters into the dog, and then grasp and then remove the tick that way. Though we don't have a huge tick problem in Michigan, it's always good to use the tick preventives and the flea preventatives that are out there. Extremely safe and very effective. A lot of these products don't kill these ticks on contact, so they might be able to bite your dog or your cat, but what they will do is they will prevent them from passing on that infectious organism that they might carry.
Do dogs scratch at ticks?
Do they scratch at ticks? Sure, I've seen dogs be extremely itchy from ticks.
So that's how you know they typically have?
Well, typically you find them incidentally. They're more sensitive to fleas, for sure. They'll itch a lot more with fleas, typically like at the base of the tail, etc. But I've had dogs that you would never know they had ticks that were covered in them. But they oftentimes do itch. Itching is so non-specific, though, it's hard to say. It's easy just to do a once-over on your dog. I mean, a lot of people, when they're just petting them, will feel something that feels a little bit suspicious. Then they'll look, and they'll find a tick there. Where I attempt to find ticks, if there's only like one or two on a dog, is in the ear. There's a couple of small folds of skin that are on the flap or the pinna of the ear. Oftentimes in between those flaps, ticks like this to get in there for some reason. I don't know if that's a good place to hide or what, but they will get in there and they'll hide, and then they'll engorge themselves. So you'll see them there as well, but really they can attach anywhere.
I got a Cairn Terrier. They're nothing but hair.
Well, if you got these long-haired dogs, yeah, they're not easy to find on ticks, especially if you had like a seed tick. Some of these really small, maybe like in the nymph stage of the tick, they're tough to find. So sure, I've had ticks on my dog that I've not seen. I'm positive of it. But if you do find them, typically it's when you're scratching them and you're rubbing them. And people that are partaking in first aid courses are typically pretty intimate with their dogs, or petting them, and they're interacting with them a lot. So I'm sure you'll see most of the ticks that are out there. Yes.
They come predominantly from the deer.
It depends on the species. Other ones, some are from the deer, but other ones are from dogs, different dogs. Other rodents can also carry ticks as well.